Welcome everybody to History International Film Festival Austria of 2024's edition. We are here with Joska Zinkweg and also with Peter de Winkel. They are here to tell us something about their documentary A Beggars Victory, Zealand's Untold Stories in the 80 Years War. Guys, if you would be so kind and tell us a little bit about the film itself, what it is about, what is it about the title of the film, and of course, who you are.
Okay. Well, Peter, you start? I start?
I guess you start.
Well, actually, it was your idea. That's why I said, well, maybe you should start. You said, well, Peter, you should know he is a historian, and you got this new training to become an editor, and so he's very much interested in historical subjects. And me, I'm a filmmaker, a film and TV maker. I studied French, but this is nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. And we kind of connect with historical subjects. We like exploring them. We like to tell the story behind something you can see today. And that's what happened when you said, well, it would be interesting to do something about the 80 Years War that maybe is not very much known in the rest of the world, but for Holland and Spain also, it has been a very important period in which the nation, as we speak, was built really. And we both work a lot in the province of Zeeland, which is in the west of Holland. And actually, that was a very important area. That's where the first victories were won by the Dutch, the army of the Prince of the Netherlands against the Spanish people. And but for one reason or another, we don't know really. This is not very much known today, because today in school we learn the Dutch victory started in the north of Holland and not in Zeeland. While in the beginning of the 80 Years War, there was a lot of battles being fought there. So, well, we talked about this, and then, yeah, we just started this project, and we tried to find the remains of the 80 Years War and tell the story, what happened in the first years of this 80 Years War in Zeeland. That's what we did.
Yeah, and so this project started as a series for the local, the regional broadcaster in Zeeland, Omroep Zeeland. And it started as an episodic television series, which contained 10 episodes, really centered around local towns, local municipalities in Zeeland, and trying to figure out and trying to tell the story what happened in that town during this period, and what do people know about it nowadays, and what do they don't know about it nowadays. So eventually this documentary came from the idea from, okay, we've got like these 10 episodes, but they tell a fragmented story more or less about this whole period, this whole 80-year period, with an independence struggle being fought against Spain. What would happen if we take those 10 episodes and mold them together into one longer documentary type film, and so we can actually see the progress of this independence struggle from the beginning to the end, and yeah, that idea resulted in this documentary, in which we actually took all those episodes, all the footage from those episodes, made a kind of a new edit from it, trying to tell the story, and also adding some new things which you cannot tell in like the television series with those 10 episodes, because you have to make a story that spans the whole period. And yeah, that was a fun thing to do. My role was being like the video editor, but also I really liked working with Joska on this project, because what's great about it is Joska, she's doing like the producing, the researching, the interviewing, but then the footage comes to me, and she gives me all the room, all the space I need, just to tell the story in my way, in what I think is important. Um, uh, Also writing all the texts for the voiceover that's telling the story between interviews, and yeah, that's just great. Yeah, and what Joska said, I studied history when I was younger. Eventually ended up being a video editor. But yeah, of course, I like to be part of projects that has a history component in them. And this was actually very great to do and to work on. Also because to visualize the story, we needed a lot of historical images, and you can find them online in archives and databases. So I had a lot of fun going through them and finding those images as well. So yeah.
And I was very happy that he liked doing that, because I don't like that. So yes, it's a great combination, really. We really he likes the things I don't like, and vice versa.
Great, yeah. So the team behind your production, it makes a picture for us that you two were giving ideas and also the exercises you had to do for creating the documentary. You bounced it between you two pretty well. Were there other people on board? Did you have a big production team, or were you more or less on your own?
I think it's just the two of us, and also our cameraman, who is also the voiceover. He's the one who the narrator, really. And well, we also made an educational package from this meant for children, and he there is the presenter. He's really you can see him and he also is very important, I think, for the whole production. The way he filmed, and also the way he's doing the voiceover, although it's not in English, of course, but I think he has a very nice voice, which really gets you into it.
Do you feel that all the interview partners and people involved in the shooting otherwise have been supportive of your project, or was it more of a struggle to get people to get the courage to stand in front of the camera and voice their expertise?
Mm-hmm. Well, most of them were quite willing, because Zeeland is a province where people feel a little bit, well, let's not say discriminated, but they're more laid back than in Amsterdam, Rotterdam, the West. It's a province where people really like to collaborate. Yeah. So it was no struggle.
In my opinion, in my experience, people, historians, they like to tell, right? History is a story, and if you like history, you like telling stories. So most of the times, if you put someone in front of a camera to tell something about history, they just put it all out, and they try to be as elaborate as possible, which is actually sometimes a bit of a pain, because as an editor, I have to find like the essence, the focus of the story again, and I have to cut out a lot of things that are said that might be interesting, but yeah, you just cannot put them in because of the time available, right? So
Yeah. You said that the topic itself is something that isn't the big part of the usual educational schedule in schools, I guess. Do you think that taking something like a blind spot in our history telling is something we as a filmmakers have a duty to do? So, because the usual television programs and broadcasting services, they're always bringing up the same topics again and again. It's always about the big players and the big events and the sensus communis, what were the important events. But as a filmmaker, we try to find something a little bit more special, something that hasn't been done yet, and also that participates in the educational program of our people. Do you think that it is something we have to do as filmmakers, or is it something very personally why you did it?
Well, I guess it's that kind of story that really gets me on. I like, yes, I like telling. I like telling untold stories. Really, I don't like, and I think it's important that people should know that it's most of the times it's the winner's perspective, which is shown throughout main history, and it's important to know there are also other stories, and I think that's something you see more and more these days. It's personal storytelling very often nowadays, and that's a way to get people involved, really, to tell a certain aspect from history from a personal point of view. I think that's very important.
Yeah, and I agree, because as a filmmaker, you always look for a story that's original, right? So no point in telling something everybody already knows, because nobody's going to watch your film. So you're trying to find like an angle in the story that's original or opens up a new perspective. In this case, for example, I would be very interested in making like this whole story from a Spanish point of view. How are those Spanish soldiers that were fighting in Zealand at this time? How were they thinking about this battle, this struggle, about the country, about that's. But you would have to go to probably to Spanish historical archives and sources to find out more about it.
Will you?
Depends on funding, of course. But and also as a filmmaker, you're not really into the position to do like a historical research on this subject. So you would have to find somebody who has done research on this subject, and then you can probably make that into something for television or maybe documentary or something like that.
You said this project was originally a series of shorter documentary films. How long did it take you altogether to produce it?
I think the original idea started somewhere in 23, and then Joska did all the research and all the.
I think 22 really. Yes, because last year it was in the film festival in Zealand, so then it was finished. So I think we started in 22, and then starting all the research, the funding, of course, which was quite a hell of a job. And then then we started shooting, I think in January 23, and we finished the project in September.
Oh, so you didn't get an order from a TV channel, but you came up with the topic yourself and then sold it to interested parties?
No, it's a little bit different. We had the idea Then we started looking for how do you call that, subsidies, and we have in Zeeland a fund which is especially for documentaries in this province, and there we got the main part, and we also tried to interest all the different municipalities where the film, where we talk about in the series, and they all invested some money. So we could do it with the help of the different municipalities and the fund.
I guess it must be hard to get them on board. And
terrible. But once you have someone who really likes the idea, then they all want to join. That's funny. That's funny about it. If you have one person who is enthusiastic, then they all come. And they were very happy with the results, so that's nice.
It also sounds like you have experience working together. It wasn't probably the first project you collaborated on, was it?
No. We did things before, and that started out with also a television series, but not on an historical subject at all. That was more about verduurzaming.
Oh yeah, that's sustainability.
Oh yeah, sustainability and making your own home sustainable. And we did another television series about that subject as well. But at some point we did a series of 6 episodes on the part Zeeland played in the slave trade, the international slave trade in 16th, 17th century, because in one of the towns in Zeeland, Middelburg, that's where the provincial archive is housed, and they have like this marvelous collection from a company that was, it's almost its sole purpose was being part of the slave trade. So they have and we made a series in collaboration with the archive about this collection, which was very interesting to do, and also very how do you say it, relevant van nu?
Yes, very well, how do you say that?
Yeah, there is like a big discussion, a discourse in the Netherlands nowadays about slavery and how that transcends into modern days for people with a background in that. So it was a very well-received series as well, and so we did a couple of things together before, and I think we found a way in which we collaborate really well and are able to make something fly, I guess. Yeah.
So we hope you stay true to making historical films in the future, and maybe we also get the chance to have you back with your maybe next project or something in our next Editions Festival. Thank you very much for coming to our interview and giving us some insights into your film. And we hope that everybody that watches this interview will also watch A Beggar's Victory. So thanks very much, guys, for taking your time. And we hope to see one another again in the future.
Okay, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.